here. And we've done this in every class, so if you were struggling with it and you want more examples, I'm going to upload about 4 examples to my website.
I looked at your website to find videos of us doing it in class.
It's not up there yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till today to put those on. So, all right, so when we look at the scale factor, A over B, okay, that is a ratio that allows us to find distances. It's a comparison of 2 distances, and that's then obviously what we use to find distance. If I look at A squared over B squared, that is a comparison of areas, and that is the ratio then that you use to find areas. So in our quest here for finding the X and Y, we have to be able to decide which one of these do we need to use, okay? Now, X represents a what? Is it an area or is it a distance? It's a distance. So if it's a distance, this is the ratio that I'm going to use to find X and Y, because they're both distances. Does that make sense? Perimeters have the sum of all your distances. So we're going to use A over B, okay? But A over B is the scale factor from the smaller figure to the larger figure. So if I look at the things that compare, those are the things that compare, and by definition, a scale factor has to be 2 numerical values, right? One, X and 24, one of those is not numerical. Y and 36, one of those is not numerical. So I don't know what A over B is from what is presented, okay? But it's hidden throughout the problem. And it's hidden through the fact that we know this area here to be 54. This area here, doing a little bit of work, 1/2 24 times 36, which ends up being 432. The area of this large figure is 432. Does that make sense? Can I compare 54 and 432 through division? That makes sense?
Yes.
Is that an area compared to an area?
Yes.
Is that an A squared divided by B squared then? Okay. So this is A squared over B squared. Now I'm going to reduce it. And it reduces to 1/8. Okay. If that's A squared over B squared is equal to 1/8, would you guys agree that if I square root that, I get A over B? That makes sense? Now I would want to square root this as well. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 8 is 2 radical 2. Is that now a comparison of distances? Is it an A over B? Yeah. So now I can use that and say that this X compares to that 24, and it's going to compare the same way that ratio does. So I'm going to say X over 24 is equal to 1 over 2 root 2. Y should compare to what? 36. So say Y over 36 compares to 1 over 2 radical 2. Okay. Cross multiply, I get X times 2 radical 2 is equal to 24. Divide both sides by 2 radical 2 gives me X. And then 24 divided by 2 radical 2. I don't like writing it that way, so we'll rationalize it. And that should give me 24 radical 2 over, what's 2 times radical 2 times radical 2? That's 2, isn't it? So 4. Now it's 24 divided by 4. 6. So 6 radical 2 is X. Now we'll go through the same work to find Y. Okay? So I get 36 is equal to 2 radical 2 times Y. I'll divide both sides by 2 radical 2. gives me that. Rationalize again. Get 36 radical 2 all over 4. What's 36 divided by 4? I'll go with 9 this time. So there's my y. 9 radical 2. Now, you should be able to check yourselves every time you do one of these because of what we understand about scale factors. If I take 6 square root of 2 and compare that to 24, I get that number there. If I take 9 square root of 2, compare that to 36, I get that number there, which both those comparisons, so that's x compared to 24, y compared to 36, both of those reduce to my scale factor of that 1 divided by 2 over, or sorry, 1 divided by 2 radical 2. Okay? If all three of those comparisons are the same, we know we've done things correctly. Yes, Jeff? Because when we had here that 54 divided by 432, that was the comparison of areas, right? Those will reduce. 54 goes into 432 8 times. So it gives me 1 over 8. Okay? And that is, so 1 over 8 1 over 8 is your a squared over b squared. We want a over b instead. So I square root that, and it should give me a, right? Square root that, and it should give me b, correct? If I do that to the left-hand side of the equation, I got to do it to the right-hand side. So square root of 1 is just 1. Square root of 8, well, 8 is the same thing as 4 times 2, right?
Yes.
Square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 2 is just root 2. So that's where I get that a over b number.
Was it 2 cubed? 8?
2 cubed is 8, yes. That question is going to be on your test next week.